Hey guys, it's me, my face, and like 2 weeks worth of unpacking to do. Today's I Just Cannot Muster the Happy Dance, brought to us by Jack's Abbey. This is shipping out of Boston. That's pretty good. Before I start out on all my usual spiels, obviously the events of the past week need to be addressed, but honestly, I have nothing articulate to say that hasn't already been said by other people. It would be easy to say, we told you so. It would be easy to say, we all saw it coming except for the people that mattered. That's for later. For right now, we need to get the person in the White House out. The only reason we can't move quickly in our government is from our own faults. It was said, we can't file articles of impeachment until Monday morning. Why? Work a weekend. I do. We can't assemble this kind of thing so fast. Do it. You literally have nothing else to do right now. You're not out there making any great new laws. You're not out there discussing, you're not working on anything else, lawmakers. Do this thing. Get him out before something else stupid happens. And what happened this past week was stupid. It was stupid. It was unforgivable. It was avoidable. And it was tragic. And people have died. And I don't care what side they were on. I really don't. People died. Not for a grand revolution to free people or to end tyranny, but to perpetuate it. That's a waste. That's a terrible waste. So you'll see I have my not so subtle little sign up. It's what needs to happen. It's what needs to happen. And that's all I'm going to say in this video about that. So if you're still here and you're new here, first of all, this is Dante floofing around in front of me, but my name is Andrea, and this is usually a channel about cross-stitch and beer and mental health, depression, cats, and opinions. If you're a returning visitor, you already know all that. Thank you for coming back anyway. I'm going to take a sip of my drink, and then we're going to jump into some cross-stitch. Yes, I'm refreshed. Apologies about not recording last week. I quite honestly don't remember what my reason was. I really don't. There's been a lot going on in the past couple of weeks. There've been downs, and then there have been further downs. But we will get into that afterwards. What I did do in the past 2 weeks is a fair amount of stitching on some projects that needed some love, and they got it. They got it hardcore. This got uncomfortable. Well, let's just jump into the stitching. The first thing that I worked on is Rack Stack. This is from Plum Street Samplers, and I managed to move the Q-snap. I got everything that was above this line finished. I brought down the snowflakes, started on his antlers and the bottom stag, reindeer. I'm not entirely sure if they're reindeer. It could just be deer. I don't know. I don't know the difference. I'm not I was going to say I'm not a botanist, but that really wouldn't make a difference. I'm not a zoologist. I did it. I brought down the borders a little bit, but I filled in this whole second deer, and he came out looking good. You can't really see him from here, but you'll have to trust me. He looks good. Again, I really love working on this project, and once I start it, I usually don't want to put it down. It has just enough small spaces or small motifs like the snowflakes that I can say, okay, I'm just going to knock out a snowflake tonight, or I'm just going to knock out these 3 snowflakes tonight. But it also has some bigger areas, so I can say, ooh, if I sit and stitch for a few hours, I can just continually work on the same motif. So that has been working for me. The next thing that I worked on is the Linen and Threads mystery sampler. It's no longer a mystery. I think all the pieces are out as of this past December. I am currently still working on April. Don't judge. I managed to just fill in. This is a huge motif. This is bigger than you think. And I don't know if it's just because it's so dense that I kind of worry about going off the rails, because I have gone off the rails twice on this motif. It's a very slow stitch for me, but I did make a fair amount of progress on it. This is being done 1/1 on what started out at least as a 28 count even weave. I have coffee and tea dyed it and probably abused it in other ways. So it's probably closer to a 29-30 count at this point. And I'm using all Threadworks variegated threads. I can, if anybody's interested, I can post a list of them, but I just really like the variegation. I think the pattern lends itself to those little blocks of colors. So, soothing. The next thing that I worked on and put some serious time into is Templar Prophecy. I have almost made it to the right-hand edge of the piece. This has probably another 25 stitches to go before I hit the edge. But I managed to fill in more here and up here and all across here. I've got this done, plus everything in here. I went to town and I have enjoyed stitching on this so much lately. The only thing I haven't been able to bring myself to do is to go back up to the top here. It's just so fiddly, and it's tough for me to get into a rhythm, to just kind of like get all the way across and all the way back and all the way across and all the way back. That I just, when I stopped working on this last night, I think it was like 3:30 in the morning. So that was not the time to be fiddling with anything anyway. But I definitely like the way it's coming out. I had not trouble. I shouldn't call it trouble. I should actually just say, Andrea, consult the pattern once in a while. In here, I have on, I'll show you here, I have like a little master photo of the whole pattern. And I kind of have highlighted places that I wanted to put color. And the photo is from, I think, actually the front of the pattern. So it includes the back stitching. On Pattern Keeper, where I'm doing this from, it does not include the back stitching. So when I look at the photo, it looks like there's many parts of this that need to be in color, but they're not actually showing up in Pattern Keeper. So like I did the chalice because that showed up there. But there is a whole bunch of back stitching and everything that goes on around it that isn't there yet. And there also seems to be, not on this side, over here, a lot of back stitching that exists that I'm not seeing in Pattern Keeper. So I don't know, I can't really judge what colors I want to use on it yet, or whether I've started something in black, because I think what I did is this little sticky uppy thingy there, I think is actually part of a motif that I had planned to do in a color, but I didn't because As far as Pattern Keeper is concerned, it just looked like part of the, the monochrome block part. Am I making any sense? I hope so. So either way, I just kind of need to pick back through and make sure that I am putting the right colors in the right places. On the other thing, I had mentioned, I think a couple of weeks ago, I had put in the light colored backstitching here and it looked kind of... And people were suggesting that rather than use the white, or actually this is ecru, I should match the background fabric a little better. And that might make it look a little more cohesive. And I think that's a really smart idea. So I will be giving that a try as well. Beer break. The last thing that I worked on and also put a ton of time into is Death by Cross Stitch. Look at what I did. Make sure that I can see what you can see. I pretty much figured I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Get centered again. I filled in, I believe, mostly everything here. And I filled in another bird over here. And I just love working on this again. I have to work on this up here in my office because that's where my stand that can hold this is. And once I settled in with this and some CNN going and some coffee, I'd have stitched all night. I'd have never stopped until I lost consciousness. Maybe even a little after that. But yeah, pretty soon I'm going to get to roll this up a little more and expose some more bottom. That's a whole different YouTube channel. So that I can start kind of some new and interesting areas, because I'm getting a little tired. I want to finish off this alphabet. It's been just staring at me for months now, and I want it done. Hey, Dante. So that is it for the cross stitching. This week, I started a new hobby. Yeah, I know. Remember the scrapbooking. I know. But I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I have a lot of like Halloween themed fat quarters that I would pick up at Joann's just because they were cute and say, well, I hope to use them for something someday. I thought I would make project bags. I did not make project bags. So they've just been kind of piling up. So I thought about maybe trying English paper piecing. So I did. I've been making these are bigger than I thought they would be. 2-inch hexagons. And you know what? They don't come out half bad. I'm not very precise on the back. We can trim that up. That's fine. I'm learning. I watched a couple of videos and I kind of did it their way, by like basting and piercing the paper all around. But I recently watched another video where she was really just kind of tacking at the corners. And I think that would probably make the backing pieces last longer. So I may try a bunch like that. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 done in like a couple of hours one night, which is, to me, pretty impressive. I don't know if it's good or bad. But what I'm hoping to make is a table runner. I have probably 2 other not coordinating fabrics, but fabrics that won't look stupid with this one. And then maybe I will get something like a charcoal gray to kind of use as a binding or like a filler color. But I feel like that could work up pretty quickly. And, I think the more I get used to this, the less it will hurt my hands. It has been a challenge to use a sharp needle for the first time in a very long time. I've been stabbed more than a few times, but I guess I'll have to get used to it. So I will update as I continue my little hexy journey. Over the past couple of weeks, I have gotten some wonderful things in the mail, so I wanted to share them with you right now. I got a lovely holiday card. This is from Shelby. Thank you, Shelby. I received this from, is this Cassie Jo? This is Cassie Jo Stitches. She wrote me a lovely note inside. Look how cute that is. And sweet as she is, included some holiday colors. Very pleased with that. Thank you. Then I received, oh, these I love. I love these. Look at them. Look at these guys. I love penguins. I'm a sucker for penguins. This is from Stitcher Girl. Stitcher Girl Julia. And she sent me something I've never had before. This is Anchor Black. I can't wait to try it. I'm going to know what the secret is about Anchor Black. I will report back. Thank you, Julia. Lastly, I got a wonderful package from, so I make sure I get her name right, from Dovey. I think I've seen comments from Dovey all over the place, and now she's my friend too. She was so sweet. She sent me, first of all, this lovely postcard. You know I'm a sucker for postcards. Look at the colors. This is Autumn in Montana. Montana's one of those states that, like, I don't think about on a daily basis, but when somebody says, oh, like, here's a picture of Montana, it's amazing. Amazing. So she sent me the postcard, but she also sent me these wonderful things. First of all, I have to say, I lost this. I didn't lose it. When this first came in the mail, I got so excited about it, I put it on my little shelf. And then when I finally sat down to make this video, I did not know where it had gone because it was in front of me. So this is actually, look at the ghost. Is that the coolest thing? I think that's so neat. So she sent me that, and there are a couple of cards here. Let me share these with you. These are postcards. Love it. And this one. And these are from an Etsy shop called, make sure that I do this right. Oh, it also came with a bookmark. Oh, and a third card. I'm sorry, I thought that was just a backing. Love the pumpkins. I love that color. So she found all this wonderful stuff at an Etsy shop called Forest Noir Photography. I think it's Etsy. Well, she definitely has a website, but it is Forest Noir Photography. And they have some really neat stuff. And it's also forestnoirphotography.com. So you can find them there. She also has an Instagram of Forest Noir. So definitely check those out. Debbie, I am so thankful for these. They are wonderful. They are just my style, and I can't wait to put them out. I did get a few things in the mail that I ordered, but nothing too exciting to show. Like, I bought hexagons, and I bought a glue stick to try sticking to the hexagons. I don't know if I want to use glue or not. If you do this and use glue or not glue, tell me why or why not or how come, and help me make a decision. I also bought myself some new scroll rods. I just bought cheap ones, the Edmonds kind. I actually had 3 sets in my shopping cart in Amazon. And one set was like $49. And then this set was like $30. And then I had another set that was, say, in the mid-20s. And I said, I always cheap out. I always buy the cheap set. Because for some reason I don't invest in myself that way. Like, I will spend $100 on a bunch of junk, but not $100 on something that's good and will last and whatnot. Anyway, so I said, I'm going to buy the mid-priced ones, the 30-somethings. If I had the mental energy to do it, I would just return these because they are disgraceful. They really are. I mean, come on. If you're going to mass produce something that has holes in it, the least you can do is drill all the way through and clear out the sawdust. They're usable. They're just plain old frames. They're just kind of to keep me going. I don't know that I'm not tired of the Q-snaps. I don't like them as much for big projects because I think I kind of like to see more of my project at a time. So I wanted to free up some of my Q-snaps for mid-size stuff and use the scroll rods for the larger things. So, I mean, I think I'll be okay, but yeah, they're pretty bad. So there's no real use in showing those. I did receive my Floss Frenzy in the mail. This is the December Floss Frenzy, December 2020. And this is Heritage Red. You can just run through these very quickly. We have Red Rocks, Aztec Red, Liberty, which is very bright, Candy Apple, which to me looks a lot like Liberty, but okay, Turkish Red, and Louisiana Hot Sauce, which is the only one I think I had ever heard of. I think I heard Priscilla and Chelsea using some variation of that at some point. Chelsea. I do have a very large order coming in from 123 Stitch. I decided to bite the bullet and kit up a rather large project. They actually didn't have everything I needed, so I still have, I think, like 8 or 9 different flosses to pull. I won't give away what I'm kitting up, but it does rhyme with Reedy Wumpkin wattage, just in case you were wondering. I actually emailed Praiseworthy Stitches with a question about, and maybe if anybody out there has this information, they did not, to see if they could tell me the stitch count by color so that I could figure out where to spend my money on the threads, because to me, if there's 8 stitches of something, there is no reason to use anything fancy or anything that isn't already in my stash. Unfortunately, they didn't have that information, but they responded so quickly and were so sweet. And I'm so pleased. It's so nice to just get an answer when you're looking for one. And even if that answer is no, at least you've been acknowledged. They were so sweet. And their final message to me was, please send us pictures as you go and let us know how this comes out for you. So They are absolute dears, and I will recommend them anytime. Because I don't have enough to do, or because I'm not ignoring enough things that I should be doing, I opened up a TikTok account. I haven't posted anything yet, but I shall. I don't even know my name. I'm posting it over there. I was thinking of maybe taking some of my old, like, time-lapsed videos and kind of compressing them further and maybe putting those up as TikToks just for fun. So if you are on there, keep an eye out for me and we'll see how it goes. So otherwise, this week, or these past couple of weeks, have been kind of weird. I won't use the word manic because I don't have manic episodes. I'm not bipolar or anything like that, but I have been having, I think, what I may have seen referred to as depressive energy. You know, usually with my depression, I try to start a million things and I can't start anything, so I just kind of sit there in vapor lock, unable to do anything. This past couple of weeks, I have had the energy to at least start things like paper piecing. And I feel like if that's going to be my depression where I like throw myself into other things, I would rather that than the whole sitting there and staring at the screen and not really accomplishing anything. So I will take it. Unfortunately, some of that energy has had to go to taking care of my father. My dad is 89 years old. He's going to be 90 in July. And only just recently he has kind of started to slow down and not be able to take care of his house or himself the way that he wants to. You know, he was going up and down basement stairs dragging his laundry around up until about a month ago. You know, he's developed this cough that makes him go out of breath. It's not COVID or anything like that. He was diagnosed with COPD years and years and years ago, but it has never really affected him until now. And he's also dealing with what might be like a pinched nerve or something in his neck. It's very strange, and it makes him dizzy, which is not good when you're 89 years old and you live by yourself. So a couple of weeks ago, my sister and I ended up going over to his house, and we kind of found it in a state of disarray that he would not have tolerated, that he didn't like. But, you know, there were dishes in the sink for we're not sure how long. Just because, you know, he used up all his energy cooking his meal, he didn't have the energy to clean up after it. That kind of thing. We found out that his laundry had stopped mid-cycle. The machine broke, and it had been sitting in there for several days. So you know what that smell is like. It was bad. So, you know, we took care of that. We got the laundry to a laundry service. We cleaned up the house. We started emptying out some cabinets, things like that. And now every time that we've gone over, he seems to feel a little better about it. Yesterday we were there. She cleaned out some cabinets with my niece while I helped him take down all of Christmas. He like, you know, sat on the couch and said, yeah, that goes in that box and this goes over here and take this over here. We threw out a whole bunch of stuff. So, like, I am stunned because I can't do that for me. I can do it for him. I can find that energy for him. I can't find it for myself. Which isn't fair. It isn't fair to Mark. It isn't fair to me. But at the very least, I can go to bed at night knowing that, you know, at least I took some sort of care of my father yesterday. And we're continuing to. We're going to get him some services. We're going to get him a health aide to come in and kind of get him up and running in the morning. We asked him about that yesterday, and my sister had said, you know, well, what do you think about somebody who could come over and help you out in the bathroom, help you get cleaned up, you know, get you dressed? And he said something like, would they make my oatmeal? because that would be a big help. We're like, we'll get you 10 people to make you oatmeal. Of course we will. So it's good that he is letting us help him now. We also got a call from one of his neighbors, just because, they've seen the cars there. We have pretty much been isolating from him since last March because, of all of us, none of us want to catch COVID, but certainly none of us want to bring it into his house. And we've kind of had to relax that bubble a bit because he needs help. He needs somebody to be there. I think we can trust a health aide to wash her hands and wear a mask. And that's just what we've been doing is, I still haven't hugged him. I still haven't hugged him in almost a year now. But at least I've been in the house with him. I can make him a cup of coffee. We can be around him. He's not alone. And you know what? If he needs our help to the point that we need to come in physical contact with him, we'll have to do that. There's just no getting around it. So it's been challenging, but it was funny to get a phone call from one of his neighbors saying, we've noticed you over there a lot lately. What's going on? What's happening? Why is all this trash out on the sidewalk? And so I had to just tell them that, yeah, he's a little under the weather and we're kind of cleaning things out and getting things back up to his standard because that's his home and we want him to stay in that. It may sound morbid or weird to say, but I think the most peaceful, beautiful thing I can think of is going over there one day and finding him, in his bed, just gone, just happy and safe and comfortable in his home, the home that he lived in with my mother for I don't know how long. We lived there. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think because of what my age is. Over 40 years he lived there with my mother. So, we want to keep him in his home. We want to make sure that he's happy. He's a very active and social person. So we want to try to encourage that more. We have virtual dinner with dad every week. But, if I can get him into other virtual calls and things like that with maybe some of his other friends, if, we can get them all on a video chat together once a week or so, I think that would be hysterical. But I also think it'd be really good for him. So that has been pretty stressful, but probably not as stressful as it would be if I couldn't help, if I couldn't get over there, if I couldn't at least muster the energy to help him put away Christmas. I can't muster the energy to put away my own Christmas right now, but I got him taken care of. So we were dealing with that, and then, terrorists attempted to take over the nation's capital, which was upsetting, to say the least. It was, I was obsessively watching CNN and MSNBC. I was obsessively on Twitter. I say was, probably going to turn it back on when I'm done recording. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want something to happen without me aware of it immediately. And I don't know why that is. There's probably rational explanations, but I do not usually mesh with rational reasoning. So yeah, the past, 4 or 5 days has been challenging. Yay, challenging. We live in interesting times. Lucky us. Drink if you think unity only happens after a sincere declaration of responsibility. hopefully I will see you next week, if not the week after that. As usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even your dislikes. And thank you for your comments. I read them all and I appreciate them all. And I appreciate you. Thank you for being my community. Bye, guys.